We've spent the last year trying to guess when or if Shane would ever be returning to YouTube. Well, he finally came back and spilled some tea about his year-long break and his plans for the future. It's a mess, so let's get into it. Before we get into the tea, I just want to let you guys know today's video is very kindly sponsored by Adam and Eve. Right now, you can use code SPILL to get 50% off of one item in your cart and free shipping to the US and Canada. Some exclusions do apply. The great thing about shopping with Adam and Eve is they have 24/7 customer support, discreet packaging, and 90-day hassle-free returns. My favorite thing though is the fact that they donate 20% of their profit to help fight the spread of HIV. Once again, that's code SPILL for 50% off of one item in your cart and free shipping to the US and Canada. Some exclusions do apply. Thank you Adam and Eve for sponsoring today's video, and let's get into the tea. So, Shane Dawson has been off the internet for over a year now, but not in a Tati Westbrook type of way. Even though Shane's cancellation was huge and extremely serious, Shane never fully left the internet. He stayed on Instagram, he still promoted his merch, and even made a few appearances on Ryland's podcast. Now, you would think someone who went through such a serious cancellation would probably just leave the internet and take some downtime. I mean, look at Jenna Marbles. People didn't even want her to leave, and she still took herself off the internet. Tati got caught in the middle of some petty beauty guru drama, and she left every platform for over a year. Then we have Shane. The stuff that came to light about Shane was so serious, yet he still stayed on Instagram promoting his pig merch and selling his slime. It just goes to show you that you really can't cancel someone unless they cancel themselves. You can stop supporting them, you can unsubscribe to them and stop buying their stuff, but at the end of the day, these people are always gonna have their hardcore fans that just don't really care. And that's what we're seeing now with Shane. Shane returned to YouTube as a guest on Ryland's podcast, and it's probably the most we've heard from Shane in over a year. This episode was titled Spooky Special with Shane Dawson, and right now it sits at just over 260,000 views. I was kind of surprised because this video has been up for nearly a week and it still hasn't cracked 300K. Not saying that 260,000 views isn't good, it's still amazing, but for like a Shane Dawson video, it's pretty low. Now, I went into this episode thinking it was just gonna be like a spooky ghost story type of episode, but it was more about Shane's mental health struggles, Shane and Ryland's relationship struggles, and Shane's cancellation. Shane started talking about his mental health struggles over these past 2 years, which then led into his relationship with Ryland. Shane was opening up and talking about his mental health, and instead of replying with, words of encouragement or simply acknowledging Shane, Ryland just completely ignored him and asked for the blinds to be shut.
And that's what the last 2 years really getting back into, like, talking about the OCD stuff, because I thought OCD was like you wash your hands a million times, but there's so many layers to it. And
can you just close the blind closest to me? I'm getting like blinded by sun. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just can't. So I was saying
which one?
Oh, Chris will do it. The top one closest to me. Sorry. Yeah, up. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Sorry, everyone. Back to the conversation.
You couldn't have waited.
I know.
That's something that makes me... We've had so many fights about it.
Shane said Ryland always does stuff like that, and he actually almost broke up with Ryland over it when they first started dating. Yikes. Then Ryland asked Shane what he was planning on doing in the future. Shane was kind of hesitant to answer at first, but he said he really wants to get into horror movies. He's apparently already written 2, and he really wants to turn them into a movie and actually produce them. It's been known for a while that Shane's end goal was always to write and produce movies. Before Shane went through his whole cancellation, we could already see that was a direction that Shane was trying to go in. He directed his first movie, and he started to get into these docuseries on YouTube that were getting millions and millions of views. But after everything that came to light last year about Shane, some people think it'll be really hard for him to ever be taken seriously in the film industry. As I think we all remember, that really horrible video of Shane with that poster of Willow Smith got brought to light, and the Smiths weren't too happy about it. Both Jada and Jaden dragged Shane on Twitter over that video, which makes me think Will Smith probably isn't Shane's biggest fan. The Smiths have so many connections, it just feels like Shane's chances are kinda shot. Then Shane brought up YouTube. He was asked if he would ever be returning, and Shane said he wants to, but he's just waiting for inspiration to hit him. Shane loves the whole process of making a YouTube video and planning it out and editing it, but he just feels like he's in a really weird spot. Lizzie said she feels like if Shane went back to YouTube, it would almost feel like he's moving backwards instead of forwards. Rylan said he feels like Shane was reinventing himself so many times on YouTube that now it's kind of like, well, where does he go? But Shane said he really loved doing his docuseries on people like Jeffree Star and Jake Paul, but now that he's gotten older, he's less interested in pop culture. He just doesn't understand the whole TikTok and new generation that's now rising to fame. He said it would be fake if he did a series on any of these people because he's just really not that interested. Then Shane shifted his focus to Ryland. Shane said he's so proud of Rylan for creating the SIP and making content all on his own. Shane feels like he's ruined everyone's life around him because of the mistakes he's made in the past. He says Rylan has been dragged through the mud because of his mistakes, and he feels responsible for that. Rylan and Shane said it got really brutal at one point, but they've since worked through the public's perception of them. Rylan admitted that without Shane, he wouldn't even have an internet career, and it's never even crossed his mind for a minute that any of this backlash was because of Shane. When you think about it, Shane getting cancelled really did affect a lot of people. For example, Andrew lost his job with Shane because Shane just wasn't filming content anymore. Morgan was filming content with Shane and the whole crew, and she was really growing a lot from Shane's platform. Luckily, Morgan did branch out on her own and was able to keep a dedicated audience, but it still definitely impacted her channel. Rylan also got a ton of hate after Shane got cancelled, and that only got worse after the whole Trisha Paytas drama. So in a way, Shane's cancellation really did have a domino effect. Surprisingly, this episode of The SIP had really positive comments underneath it. Some of the top comments said, "Yes, I completely agree with Lizzie. Shane has a special way of keeping his fans invested in him. I love you always. This is a Shane that was lost in the social media realm. This is a Shane that we all have loved since the beginning. Looking forward to anything he creates in the future." But there are some comments claiming that Rylan is actually just filtering out any negative comments about Shane. One person said, "Try writing a comment with any of Shane's past actions and I guarantee it'll be automatically deleted." Which is fine, do your thing. But just want people to be aware that this is heavily altered and monitored. As for when Shane is gonna return, it looks like we finally have a set date. Jeffree Star announced that he and Shane will be dropping a new video on Friday. He tweeted, "Brand new video will be up this Friday. Shane Dawson and I react to finding our makeup collab in Nordstrom Rack. We went on the hunt with cameras, and I will answer all your questions." He also jumped on Instagram to announce the collab.
Hello, you guys. Look at the rain behind me. So cool. It has been really crazy out here. I can't believe it's almost October, but we got a lot to catch up on. We got to talk about last week's deleted video. We got to talk about my video this Friday going up featuring Mr. Shane Dawson. We're addressing all the Nordstrom drama, questions, concerns. There was a lot of surprises that me and Shane found.
Now, if you guys don't know, Shane's collab with Jeffree has been popping up all over the world in discount stores, and it's kind of embarrassing for them. Jeffree always made fun of Kat Von D for being in TJ Maxx, so people are like, yikes. Honestly, after everything that's happened these past 2 years, I would have thought Shane would be staying far away from Jeffree publicly, at least until he attempts his big comeback. But what do you guys think about this reunion? Are you excited to see them back together, or are you just completely over it? Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button because it really does help my channel, and I'll see you next time.